on day 2. Just arrived at the stadium. I know a lot of you guys will be wondering what things like the warm-up area look like and like the kind of behind the scenes stuff. So I'll show you what the warm-up area looks like. For those of you who have been to regionals or like a big competition before or like a sanctional event, this one is a little bit different. As you can see, we're outdoors, and this is essentially the warm-up area. You got 3 lanes, 1, 2, 3. You got 1 set of rings, and you have 3 men's barbells. Nothing for the women, and you got the choice of basically 4 25 kilo plates, 4 to 6 20 kilo plates, and like some change plates, and that's about it. So for example, in the workout yesterday, which was a 4 ounce of time of the run sandbag, there was no sandbags to warm up with. For the wall ball workout, there was no wall balls to work out with, so I was basically warming up with a 20 kilo plate to basically replace the wall ball. But on the other side of this warm-up area, as I'll show you, if you go around this side, out of the weights area, we actually have like a cardio side for the warm-up area. Plenty of C2 bikes, runners, ski ergs and assault bikes, rowers. So this side is plenty, but as you can see, the weather's not great today, so it's going to be a bit chilly, a bit harder to warm up out here, so everyone in long sleeve and trousers. But yeah, going into day 2, body feels good, legs a bit sore from Karen. Calves a bit sore from the running, but no, feeling good and good spirits. The team's all ready to go. So we've got the first event, which is 35-minute time cap for men, 38 for ladies, 6K bike, 4K row, and a 2K ski.
They did ask me
Chris Beeler here.
Yeah.
Alex Younger's athlete. Alex Younger is your athlete. Day two, event 3, event 4. How do you go?
I think awesome. You know, it's like I know he was hungry for a barbell, so
yeah. he's been a bit upset. There's no pull-up. He wants to use that long beard that he said.
I know, right? Yeah, whisk by it. Yeah,
I know exactly.
I know.
What do you think for him for day 3 in terms of legless rope climb? And
we were just talking. I think I think some of the guys, especially on the second workout that aren't familiar with the bike, I've seen him blow up on the lunge. So smart pacing.
Yeah.
And I think he'll do great. You know, and then the other pieces, it's like I'll be curious to see. I think the previous 2 days we're gonna start catching up to some of the other guys out there.
Sure.
So give me a count.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate your time. Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
So when coach says he's gonna be your fifth,
You get down as well? You slowed down a fair bit.
I know. Come on, coach. What's the end?
Through your shorts.
No, you can't.
I can. I think one thing that a lot of people don't understand is when you go into competitions, stuff like gut health and something that certainly I always get is like I basically get the shits every time I go into competition. It's not because I've changed food. I mean, it obviously could be poor sleep or whatnot, but people have got to understand is that it's the stress that's put on the system, the stress of competition and things not going your way sometimes, and people just end up blaming it on other things, or maybe it's a different weather or whatnot. But I think once you do enough competitions, you realize that just going into it, you got more powders going into your body with like protein and carbohydrates that you take on board real quick. You're not really eating, you're super stressed out, you're in a different environment, different country a lot of the time, different judges, different environment, and it's just something that you got to get used to. So it's something that I certainly suffer with. So I mean, like, it's a bit horrible to talk about, but I certainly have the shits at the moment, and I probably will do until the competition's over, which is why it's important to have that deload after competition, which I'm sure most coaches will prescribe to athletes, just to let your body recover and recuperate before you go into your next big training phase.
Have you got any tips with people or athletes who are in a competition who are perhaps in day 1 and are suffering from some stomach issues? What do you recommend?
Obviously, stomach issues generally, if you got stuff like diarrhea, you're probably dehydrating a little bit more than you would normally. So I mean, things like electrolyte balance, sodium balance in the body is super important. I mean, I've made this mistake in the past of just taking on so much water that I actually end up overhydrating myself. And then the sodium balance is completely out of whack. And for me, I struggle quite a lot with cramp, which I've spoken about in the past. So yeah, staying on top of my electrolyte intake is really important. I do put a lot of salt on my food, and that just like small things like that. Of course, sleep, super important. If you can sleep throughout the day because you struggle at nighttime, take the opportunity to sleep throughout the day. Obviously, anything that will de-stress you, bring you out of a stress state. So like breathing routines, staying in a dark room, something like this, a sauna routine where you can relax and just kind of kick back. Of course, eating as much as you can when the body is in such a stress state, and obviously with the competitive anxiety that comes along with competition. If you have macros, don't be scared to go over the macros. I'm sure if you have a coach, they would often tell you that you should be okay to go over it, and just basically keep yourself satisfied. Make sure that you know yourself best and you're basically hitting all the markers when it comes to trying to stay as stress-free as possible.
Awesome.